Okay, boys and girls, so we have been talking all about fractions and decimals and how they relate to one another. And I wanted to do a few examples of how I can take this fraction right here and I can turn it into a decimal. These are the easy kind because we already know that the 3 goes on the whole number side. So we just put the 3 in the ones place. Then we look at this part. This is our part. This is the part that we have to make into a decimal. Well, this one's easy to do because we know that if they have a denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000, that we just put the numerator, that digit 5, in the hundredths place. So the last digit, which is a 5 in this case, has to be in the hundredths place. We fill a 0 in there. So the way we make this fraction equal a decimal is 3.05. 3 and 5 hundredths, 3 and 5 hundredths. But what if we get one like this, where the denominator is not 10, 100, or 1,000? Well, we have to make a new fraction. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my decimal placeholders. I'm going to forget that 5 and go ahead and transfer it on over to our decimal. Then, this is the part 2/4 that I have to look at. I am going to make a new equivalent fraction. I'm going to put a fraction bar right next to my old fraction. And I'm going to choose which denominator should I put there. Would a 10 work well there with a 4? I'm going to have to multiply the 4 by something in order to get 10. Is that going to work? No, that's not the best choice. What about 100? Could I multiply 4 times something to get 100? Yes, I can. If you don't know what number, go off to the side, do the inverse operation, which is the opposite of multiply, which is divide. You're going to divide 4 into 100. You're going to find out that it goes 25 times. And then that's what you multiply by. So you're going to multiply 4 times 25 gave you 100. Whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. 2 times 25 is 50 cents. I always think about money. 4 quarters makes 100. So now I've got a denominator that is 10, 100, or 1,000. And I can do 50 hundredths. I'm sorry. So I want to put 50, last digit in the hundredths place. So this decimal is 5.50 or 5.5. Look at this one here. Again, it is not out of 10, 100, or 1,000, but I can easily make a 5 into a 10. So I'm going to choose 10 as my denominator for this one. But how did I go from a 5 to a 10? I had to do a math problem. Well, what did I multiply 5 by to get 10? 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Look at that. 4 tenths. It's not just 4 tenths, though. It's 2 and 4 tenths. So when I go to make my decimal, I put my 2 in the whole number side. Then I put the 4 in the tenths place. So my decimal is 2.4, or 2 and 4 tenths. Let's look at this example here. 7 and 4 tenths. Well, it's already got a denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000. So I don't have to do anything to that. I just put my whole number. Then I put my 4 in my tenths place. 7.4. Down here, 18 and 37 thousandths. Again, my denominator is 1,000. So I don't have to do anything to that. I just have to put the 18 on the whole number side. And then I have to put the last digit in the thousands place, like this, but I have to have a 0. So here's my decimal here. Let's do this last one here. 6 and 1/4. I have to make a new equivalent fraction. I have to have the denominator 10, 100, or 1,000 to make it easy to work with. I choose 10 won't work. I choose 100. Again, I multiply by 25. By 25. Look at that. 25 hundredths, but don't forget the 6 wholes. So 6.25 is my decimal. The reason this is useful is because when you start getting math problems like this where they want you to put these decimals in order, you don't have all decimals. You have 2 fractions. So you have to know that I can change these into a decimal, so they're all decimals, and then I can work with them, or I can change them into a fraction. Decimals are the easiest. So I'm going to change this. 15 hundredths is easy to work with. I just put the last number 15 in the hundredths place. There's my new decimal. 8 thousandths. I need it's already got a denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000. So I just put the 8 like this. Add my zeros. There we go. Now they're all decimals. So I can line them up. Fill in my zeros. And then put them in order from greatest to least. So the greatest is 500. The next greatest is 170. The next greatest is 150. And the last greatest, or the smallest, is 0.008 or 8 thousandths. There you have it.